Hey everybody, Dr. Strife here, bringing you a new video. Today, we're taking a look at a game that I got a beta code for called Chivalry 2. Yes, Chivalry 2 is a sequel to a game called Chivalry, which I've never played. So, what I know about the game is that it's a game where you use a lot of melee combat, you're knights, there's like 2 teams of knights, and you either do team deathmatch or objective-based things, kind of like traditional multiplayer. Although this game, you got like 60 people all at once going at each other in team-based combat. So that's pretty insane. But yeah, let's take a look at what you can do. You start out with a tutorial. And this tutorial, this game definitely has a sense of humor. And you'll see it sprinkled throughout the game. Even though you are knights and swords, it's got kind of a, almost in some ways, it's got even a reference or two to Monty Python and things of that nature. So it's very tongue-in-cheek, but there's a little bit of depth here to the combat, so don't let it fool you. It's not just some kind of cartoony game, but you can do some silly things in there, like I think in one of the promotional trailers I saw that somebody lit a chicken on fire and threw it. And you can throw things in this game and stuff like that, but I'm getting sidetracked. But starting out with a tutorial teaches you the basics of combat, and you've got 3 different types of swings. You block, you can parry, and other sorts of things like that. And so this game wants to teach you how to be effective in combat. And you can pull off some simple combos with either certain attacks and mix it up and stuff. I don't know all of the moves from the time I played. I know a couple basic ones, but even then, it's a lot trickier to pull off when you have a bunch of people around you. If it's just you and another person, it's a little bit easier to gauge, but yeah, there's a lot of depth to the game. In fact, there's like a thing where they talk about how time your swings and time your body movement. When you move the camera, I was playing this on the Xbox Series X, and you have to kind of tilt it yourself with your sword swing. And sometimes if you do that, you can sometimes strike multiple opponents at once. I was never very good at it. I did it in the tutorial, but it's definitely much harder when you have people moving around and ganging up on you and stuff like that. But yeah, let's talk about the different modes and stuff. They got the team deathmatch, where it's just a red and blue team, and that's mostly how all these modes are. At least, I don't know if there's going to be any more when the final product comes out. But from the beta, there were 2 modes. There was a team deathmatch mode, where basically it's you pick your class, you can level up, you get special, you can have a special perk depending on the class you choose, and so on. But in the deathmatch, you just go, you pick your class, and you go and you try to take out as many people as possible. You do respawn, so it's not like a typical battle royale. It's kind of a little more Call of Duty-ish in the fact that you respawn into matches and stuff after you die. So basically you just got to, the team that takes out the number that they're set to kill. So basically, let's say each team has to take out 150 players to win, for example. I'm just throwing a random number out there. So basically the first team to have a combination of 150 kills from everybody wins the match. So I think it's a lot less than that, but you get the idea. And you get things like battle cries. The battle cries are, you just basically mash X, or you can hold X and get a scroll wheel of different things your character can say. Like I said, it does have a sense of humor, so it gets a little goofy, a little silly. I have one guy that screams like he's just like running away from a school bully, and I love it. My wife heard it and she cracked up laughing. But also, as I mentioned before, you can pick up items and weapons and throw them around as well, which is cool. I am getting very sidetracked because there's just so much to talk about, and there's a lot going on, so I'll try to get back to the focus here. But yeah, the deathmatch, you pick your class, you pick the weapon you like, you go and you fight, you can level up, which of course works with both modes, but you level up your character so you can get new stats, get new abilities, get new weapons to unlock, new classes, things of that nature. And on top of it, you also have this mode, which I am trying to remember the name of to save my life, the team objective round, So the team objective is basically, from what I got to play, I don't know if there were other objectives. I only got to play one round of this, but what I did get to play was basically you had a king that you had to protect. And you had to protect this king from the rival army. So one team is the team invading the castle, trying to kill the king. The other team is trying to defend the castle and defend the king. So you got several rounds, basically. So, like, basically the team infiltrators will try to get into the castle. If you fail to do that, they get in the castle, then there's another, you want to try to keep them from completely overtaking the walls. If that doesn't work, then you got a couple other objectives, and then finally, if they get to the king and kill him, your team loses. But if you stop them at one of the objectives, your team wins the game. And this can take a while to do, but it's pretty fun. It does last a while, and mostly you are just killing guys, which is fine, and it's fun. But really there's not, I haven't seen a ton to it. You just kind of got to work together to make sure that the other team doesn't get very far. But of course the important thing is this game fun to play? Is the combat good? And the combat is very good. I really like it. And it's one of those things the developers, from what I've heard, have actually wanted to make this kind of like a fighting game in a way. And in some ways it's true, because you really have to think about the moves before you do them. You can't just go and be like, well, I'm just going to spam this button and I'm just going to win. There's no win button to spam. Because other people will either A, gang up on you in groups, or you will have to learn how to defend yourself properly by using blocks and parries and things like that. Sometimes you may have to spam a little bit to save your life because you don't really know what to do in a particular situation, but I found that the more I played, the better I got at it, because at first I was losing a lot. I was not getting very many kills, but then eventually I got more kills. Oh, and this game is brutal. It's very bloody. I mean, heads fly off. You don't really cut people's arms or legs off, though. But, yeah, you can decapitate your enemies. Blood just kind of goes everywhere. Yeah, I think at one point, even in a match, I picked up a pitchfork and tried to use it on somebody. So, you know, back to that environmental interaction and stuff, which is pretty neat. And there's also arrows and stuff, which I was not too good with. But that is there if you want some ranged options. There's a class where you get a bow and arrow, but keep in mind that it's going to be more melee. So if you have a bow and arrow and somebody gets close to your face, it's going to be harder to, you know, have to wait that time to pull the bow back and then fire the arrow. So you're going to want to get good with some of the melee options. Like the polearm and stuff is really good if you want to just kind of keep yourself at a distance, but get close enough when you need to. You got the axe, which, you know, has bigger range, but it's also very slower. There's a sword as well, and just different things. Do I like it? I've enjoyed my time with it. And it was something I really didn't have a whole lot of expectation going in, because I've never played these games before, and I didn't realize there's like a whole genre of these medieval almost battle type royale type things. So, yeah, it's really interesting to see what these people are doing here with this, and what the final product could be. So, you know, if there's interest in us, we'll look and see. Maybe we'll get a copy someday and review it properly. I don't know, but I will say this though: the time that I had in the beta was pretty fun. Yeah, I see what they did here. I think this one thing that I would really like to see is I wish they had some faster weapons. I feel like some of the weapons are very slow, and definitely there's no move cancel or anything like that. It's not like a Devil May Cry or, you know, like your typical fighting game where you can... Well, you can cancel some moves. You can kind of fake some moves a little bit, but I just kind of wish there were some faster weapons. I don't know if that's... I think they're kind of go with semi-realism a little bit. You know, when it comes to some of this combat, so maybe you can't really be too fast, but I mean, that's something I kind of want, and hopefully they'll have some more maps and stuff than just these two, more objective type stuff, so it doesn't get too old or too repetitive. But I had some fun with it, and especially if you can get some friends together and stuff for some medieval combat. It's not too bad. I do better in this game than I do most first-person shooters because I have terrible aim. You should not trust me in a gunfight. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Chivalry 2. Let me know what you think if you've tried the closed beta, if it's anything you're interested in, if it's anything you're interested in seeing me cover. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. And yeah, stay tuned to Dr. Strife. Until next time, everybody, game on.